We have done it! I have finally done it! I have finished the entire first season of Xena Party! There is just one teensy little problem. I didn't actually like this episode. At all. Oops. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I was just so bored, and I don't like that being my reaction to an episode of Xena, because Xena is many things, and it is not boring, and yet I was bored. I think part of my problem comes from the fact that most of this episode took place in, like, this healing temple for Asclepius, which is great, which is fine, but it meant that Xena was, like, she spent the whole time teaching all of these healer priest dude people, I don't know, about, like, basic triage and first aid, with kind of the result that the whole show turned into being a, like, well, it wasn't an episode of Xena Warrior Princess. It was much more an episode of Xena ER. I don't even like medical shows. I have seen one episode of ER in my entire life, and I think it was one where some guy, like, lost an arm to a helicopter, and maybe it was that guy who was on Fame. I'm not entirely sure. All I know is I don't like them. And so it was really disappointing to see Xena become a medical show with lots of, like, fancy pants triage and, like, emergency medicine, and I was just bored. Like, I don't even know how much recap I can do of this, because the plot was basically Xena and Gabrielle wander into some sort of civil war that's mostly being waged on account of, like, religious reasons. Like, there's some sort of religious persecution maybe going on, and they want to fight to have their own religions, and so she winds up reconnecting with Ethany, the Amazon, who is now preggers, and, like, really, really preggers. And the reason for the really, really preggers is that she's been hooking up with a centaur. Oh, I don't want to think about that. I'm sure you lovely people of the internet can do that and have done that. And bless you all. Yeah. But yeah, so Ethany's there, and, like, they end up with one of the enemy generals, and they all end up in that temple, and there's lots of triage. And then Ethany has her creepy puppet centaur baby, and they stop the war by converting the general to the search for inner peace. Actually, I think that's pretty accurate. I took all of these notes for this episode, and by taking notes, I mean actually just, like, spamming people on my Twitter. And there were things that amused me while I was watching it, but, like, now that it's time to actually talk about it, I was scared this was gonna happen. I don't care. Like, yeah, the actual events and things that amused me while I was watching the episode really don't kind of interest me now. I'm sorry, but it's true. Okay, I should probably say something about the fact that in this episode, Gabrielle manages to get herself wounded and kind of dies. Even more so than whenever Xena was dead, due to, like, Callisto's magical fiery dart. And I knew Xena wasn't dead, and yet I could still get, like, emotionally affected by Gabrielle. So even though Gabrielle's lying there dead, I was kind of like, oh, I'm pretty sure she's gonna be back. And Lucy Lawless was awesome and did a really good job with, like, Xena's freaking out, and it was very emotional, but I was just so frustrated by the lack of anything interesting happening in this episode that I was just kind of like, yay, Xena invented CPR. I don't know, I have no soul. I'm really sorry if this is, like, someone's favorite episode and you're gonna say in the comments, like, OMG, WTF, what's wrong with you, this is the best, because I kind of don't want to spend any more time on this episode at all, ever. Let me say a few things about how I feel about Season 1 of Xena as a whole. Okay, first and foremost, I really like this show. I think when this show is fun, it is so much fun. I think Season 1 kind of is having some growing pains, is what I've been feeling kind of off and on. Yeah, when this show grabs me, it, like, really grabs me, and it's in unexpected ways and times, and that kind of sounds like bad touch, but it's not. It's a good touch sounds even worse. Basically, I really like the show. It's funny looking back, because I can see how much Gabrielle has grown over the season, and the writers, I feel, have kind of been trying to figure out, like, exactly what to do with her as as she grows. So from what you guys tell me and what I remember vaguely from like 14-year-old me, is that they are going to have more fun with her in the future, and I'm very excited about this. I'm really just happy with having had a whole season to get to know these characters and set up a lot of characters that I know are going to come back. I know that Autolycus is going to come back because you cannot keep Bruce Campbell away from this type of television, and that makes me happy. I know that Joxer's gonna come back. Yes, I do. Because we haven't heard his song yet, and his song is like my favorite thing ever. And I know Callisto is gonna come back, and like all of this stuff is just really exciting to me, and I like that. I like being excited by the show, and it's why I get mad when I get bored by episodes along the way, like this one. But basically, I'm really happy I'm doing this. I love this show. And it's been so much fun to watch it and think about it and talk about it and ramble, and I'm really glad you guys are doing it with me. So hopefully I will get to season 2 sooner rather than later, and you will see more of me soon.